I am saddened today as I come to you guys because as I was scrolling, as I was going through the internet, I read about a young Nigerian man who died. His lifeless body was found on the floor in a changing room at work. And now this is very concerning because I'm a migrant, I'm a mom, I'm a worker, and I live in the diaspora. So it just made me to think long and hard. I have a husband who works. That could be somebody's son, that could be somebody's brother, that could be somebody's husband, and may their soul rest in peace. So I thought, why? And it's not the first time that I've had this. We've had a few deaths within our community, the Zimbabwean community as well, sudden deaths. We've had quite a few lately, and that's very concerning. If you're a worker, if you're a migrant like myself, then that is concerning. It's not one of the things that you look forward to when you just expect if somebody goes to work, they're going to come back home and be with their family. So no wonder why I thought today I'll come and I'll share my thoughts on this and what I think people need to start thinking about while they're in the diaspora. And part and parcel of the things that I'm going to talk about is self-care. Prioritizing your health, because like they say, your health is your wealth. As we pursue those goals, as we pursue money, as we pursue our dream, our diaspora dream, our UK dream, maybe it's about time that we look at it differently, we pursue it differently, we prioritize differently. And the best way to prioritize yourself is to prioritize self-care. A big welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about some of the contributing factors to sudden deaths in the diaspora and what we can do to maybe avoid that where we can, to maybe prioritize self-care where we can. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Florence, and on this platform we do talk about life in the diaspora, opportunities, how we can maximize on the diaspora journey, how we can maximize on opportunities. And it's just an unfortunate video today that we have to talk about a sad issue, and may their soul rest in peace. Why I thought I would share on this one is because from experience, I used to be that person who used to work like 3-4 jobs. At some point I worked those 3-4 jobs. Whether you're coming from one shift, you're just changing and then you're going to the next one, and sometimes you would not even go home to change, you just come straight from one shift to the other. And I could feel the strain on my body, I could feel the strain even on my mind. I could feel, okay, I'm struggling here. It's fortunate when you realize it. It's a blessing when you know when to stop. It's a blessing when you realize, okay, I need to stop. It's a blessing when you've got that support system around you that can tell you, no, I think you just need to rest. No wonder why we need to consistently and constantly have these conversations amongst ourselves as a community. I've been fortunate enough to have that community, to have those family and friends who would be able to tell me like, Flo, you need to stop. I know you're doing this and this. I know you've got this project going on. And I do remember when I used to work like that, it was before my children joined me in the UK, because when we came, my husband and I, we left our children back home, and it was a struggle. I knew we had to work so hard for us to bring our children over because we wanted them as soon as we could, so that, so it was a struggle. We had to work so hard, and I worked so hard, so I know the drill, I know the score. I've listened to stories, I've shared with friends and family. There are people actually left huge debts back home just to come to the diaspora. So you'll be working so hard so that you can clear these debts. There are people who've got families that they support back home, so you work so hard, you work extra just to balance your life here, your bills and expenses here, and at the same time be able to send something back home to look after your family and friends. So I do understand. So I do relate with all that. But today we're here to talk about self-care, because what will happen then if you die? Who will look after that family? So in as much as we have to do all those things, in as much as we are paying attention to all our responsibilities and stuff, we also need to pay attention to our health. We also need to pay attention to the body that works. At the end of the day, if we die, then we won't achieve our dreams. So that's the whole point of this conversation today, and it's so sad. It's really sad. It's really sad. And guys, stay tuned in this video as I'm going to go into some of the things that I would want people to look at, and look at objectively, and look at their own situation where they are, to say, am I not in this situation, and what is it that I can do? So stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please be kind enough to do so, so that you benefit from all the information that we share on the diaspora journey, on success, on opportunities, and growth as a community together. So part and parcel of the things that are contributing to some of these things, because I mean, when I was reading that story about the Nigerian guy, he had come off a 12-hour shift, gone on an 8-hour shift, and he's also a student, so you can imagine all the things that he was going on through. So one of the things that do contribute is workplace stress and overworking. To be fair, especially in the care industry, looking after the elderly, the vulnerable, is demanding on its own, is stressful on its own. I know we have been working back home in Africa, but it's a whole different situation here. From some of the things that I will not go into, to say the culture, the work environment, and everything else around it can make it even more demanding on us immigrants, especially when you are just starting off. So some of these things, I do work in a hospital, and normally it's a 12-hour shift. If somebody works in a care home, it's a 12-hour shift. If they are in domiciliary, it's even longer. And with driving and all the responsibility along the way, honestly, this can, lead to burnout, fatigue, and increase the risk of sudden death and heart attacks along the way. So you need to watch your work patterns. You need to be mindful of how much you're working, how many hours you're doing a week. And obviously, when we start off in this country, because of all the things that we need to do, some people have got 2-3 jobs. I used to work 3 jobs at some point in time, so I know what I'm talking about. The other thing that I want to talk about is how physically demanding some of these jobs are. It's not easy, in as much as there's all the equipment and everything, but there is the physical element into it. We cannot run away from it, in as much as we've got all the mobility equipment, but at some point you are assisting patients, you are tending them, you are rolling them, so it can be physically demanding on the body. So again, some of the things that you need to pay attention is get training where you can, proper training on ergonomics and manual handling. It's very, very important, because I mean, other people could be suffering like from back pain, shoulder pain, and just tiredness, fatigue from the physical heaviness of this job. And this, if undiagnosed or untreated conditions, could lead to a lot of other worsening health scares, and can actually lead to sudden death. So pay attention to this, guys. We can never talk about death, we cannot talk about stress and physical strain, and not talk about mental health struggles. There is this burden that comes with caring for other people. I mean, like you besides your own burdens, you have to carry their burden for them. You have to care for other people. Sometimes they tell you their issues. Sometimes by merely looking at them, nearly understanding what they're going through, it's a burden on you as well. So this, combined with isolation, I mean, it's so lonely out here. I don't want to lie to you. It's very, very lonely. People work, so sometimes you could be having their community friends and whatever family, but then you hardly see them, because maybe when you're off, they're working. When they're off, you are working. So there is isolation, and we cannot run away from the fact that financially, this is a hard, strenuous terrain. Bills, we cannot run away from the fact that bills are real in this country, right? So all of this, when we put it together, this then will result in mental health struggles. We're not even going to mention the fact that we're constantly worrying, okay, I need to stay legal in this country. I need to make sure my visa conditions are safe. These immigration skills, these immigration scares and issues, we underestimate the amount of strain that they put on our mental health, but they do. I do worry about that a lot. I mean, it's I'm coming up 3 years that I've been in the country, and already my husband and I, we're now talking like, okay, we now need to renew our visas. When next are we renewing our visas? So it's a constant roller coaster. Some people came on a 1-year visa. Some people came on a 3-year visa, some on a 5-year visa, and time flies in these countries. So you're constantly thinking about your visa conditions, about your immigration status in this country. Am I going to be eligible for indefinite? It's constantly at the back of your mind, and that can put strain on your mental health without you even being aware of it. So this can actually lead to depression, anxiety, stress, and can increase your chances of having serious health scares like strokes and heart attacks at the end of the day. So again, you cannot really pinpoint to say, we can entirely attribute this to just like maybe working long hours or working long shifts or just working non-stop. There are other things that make us work non-stop. There are other things that there's always a factor behind the reason why we left our communities, why we left our family and friends to come to these countries. It's not like we came because we enjoy it. Yes, it's a better life for us, but it comes at a price. No wonder why we are talking about it, to say self-care. In between all the commitments to ourselves, the commitments to our goals, the commitments to our families, prioritize self-care. The other thing that I'm going to talk about is the poor working conditions and exploitation in workplaces. It's sad, but we have to talk about it because it's in the public domain. People are going through so much out there. Migrant workers are often more vulnerable to exploitation, and sometimes you don't really realize like, okay, I'm being exploited here, but it's ongoing. Whereby you're being consistently threatened. If you do this, I'll cancel that visa. If you do this, I will not be giving you hours. If you complain, you're taken off rotas and stuff. These things are happening. And these things do contribute to then somebody saying, okay, I don't want to mess up things. I'm not going to be reporting this. I need to work another job. I need to find a switch. It's stressful. It is stressful. Some people are having to just be asked to come off their off day, working with no breaks, inadequate rest periods, substandard living conditions. It's hard. Other people have had to like share houses, share accommodation, families sharing, people sharing rooms. These things are real. I'm not just talking about the African community. There are lovely employers out there. There are employers who are doing a good job. I'm always giving big shout out to the employer that brought me to the UK, because when I came, my accommodation was sorted. I had a company car. The working conditions were absolutely amazing. But there is the other side of the world. There are people who are going through so much, and my heart goes out to them. No wonder why I've become an advocate to say, move to other organizations, move to the NHS, because it's better there. I'm not saying it's everything, but I'm saying it's better. It gives you a chance to come out of that horrible situation that you could be in. The other thing that I want to talk about is the fear of reporting. Many migrant workers, they reach out to, I'm in so many groups, I'm in so many platforms where people are reaching out with horrible questions, horrible situations that they are in, but they will tell you, I can't report because my visa will be cancelled, my COS will be cancelled. Other people will tell you, I'm pregnant, but the moment I told my employer, they cancelled my contract, they revoked my visa. So these things are ongoing, and these things can cause stress and even heart attacks and sudden deaths. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things that people are going through. So some people, because of these conditions, because of all this exploitation, some people are even afraid to ask for a day off, or to ask to go to a hospital appointment, or to ask to go and have a health check done, because if I ask for time off to go to hospital, and then the next week I won't be given hours to work, so they would rather just keep going and going and going, and at the end of the day, then stress, mental health, sudden death, heart attack, stroke. So guys, we need to pay attention to these things. We need to pay attention to the body that actually does the work. So definitely, we need to do something as a community. And one of the things that I do encourage people to do is join a union. It's a beautiful way of starting. A union will do so much for you in terms of unfair treatment, in terms of advocating for your rights at work. My heart goes out to all those women who are having to decide between, should I terminate or should I just tell my employer and risk my COS revoked. Nobody in this country, there's laws that protect women, that protect maternity rights for women, and nobody should be going through that with an employer especially. But a lot of people will tell you, I can't report because I'll be deported. I can't report because my visa will be cancelled. I can't report because I'll be given a hard time. Have a union is one of the things that I will encourage you to do. Also, I do encourage people to prioritize their mental health. Speak to somebody. If you're worried about anything, be it financial, be it social, talk to somebody. If you can't speak to somebody, go to your GP, speak to your GP. We want to see each other succeed. We want to see each other grow, and we want to see our community thrive and be alive. That's my cry and plight tonight in this video, to say we care about you, we care about each other. Above everything in these workplaces, prioritize always check on that brother, check on that sister, check on that work colleague, because people are going through so much. People are absolutely going through so much. I haven't even touched on things like childcare, things like social issues going on in households, how people are coping with this whole dynamic, quick change. We're used to a certain lifestyle back home. We're used to certain family dynamics back home, which is quite different when it comes to here. We're working opposite shifts. We're having to share chores. We're having to ask our spouses to do this and that, which they're not used to. And some people are struggling with that. At the end of the day, other people get depressed, mental health, heart attack, sudden death, stroke. So let's watch out for one another. Let's watch out for ourselves in the workplace, in the community, at home. Above everything, last but not least, let's show kindness to one another. You could be watching this video and you're back home. You've got a friend who lives in the diaspora. Check on them. You've got a family member who lives in the diaspora. Check on them. It's not like the fact that people crossed borders or crossed waters, then they don't need being checked on. They don't need the love. They don't need to be shown that we care about you. People are going through the most, and settling in is different. It can take from others settle in quick, depending on their family dynamics, on their support dynamics, or on the organization they're joining. For some, it can take years and years. So our journeys, our timelines are not the same. But above everything, prioritize self-care. Love yourself more. As you pursue money, as you pursue your goals, also pursue good health. Normalize going to hospital and getting checked out. Normalize resting, to say, today is my rest day, I'm going to rest. Or I've worked so much, I think I need a break. I need to go and see family. I need to go on a holiday. And it doesn't have to be one of those expensive ones or anything. Just maybe a day away, or just a night away, or just a break. It could be just that day where you've got just a lie in. Do other things that, that stimulate you, that relaxes your mind. And also, again, let's be realistic with our goals. Let's be realistic with the things that we want to achieve in the time frames as well. Be realistic with all the targets, all the projects that you're doing back home. Be realistic with all the things that we promise people at home, to say, I'll do this and this for you. I'll send you this and this and this. And they know we love them. They know we care about them. And sometimes you're saying, oh, I couldn't, or I can't this month, I'll try next month, than for you to kill yourself. Because at the end of the day, when you die, your employer will hire someone the next day. And even at work, prioritize where you can't say, oh, I can't do that shift. There are people who can't say no. Oh, it's my boss, I'll just say yes. So guys, self-care, looking out for one another, kindness, and always prioritizing our health going to get checked out by your GP. That's all I had for today, and until next time, I'll see you, I'll speak to you. Please do share our videos and subscribe. Bye.